Good morning. Good afternoon in Brussels. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here with you, Lina, and to have some form of breakfast with you, even though it's a bit later for me today.
Yes, yes, indeed. It's so good to see you. I
Yeah.
am beyond thrilled to have some more time with you. And if there's just one audience that gets to meet you and know what everything you do, I think will be just amazing this morning. And I tell you, we were just talking about how much we love breakfast and and now I think we're both hungry.
I'm famished. I'm famished. I don't know if I will hold it until the end of this session, but
Right? That's the way it works for sure.
until we can transport, or order breakfast from the machine, like in Star Trek, we have to hold on to it.
Yes, yes. And I tell you, and that next thing is like how I can transport myself over there to see you. That would not be a bad thing either.
Yeah, I think I'll prefer the people transportation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll bring the pancakes. That would
Ah,
work.
cool.
Oh, goodness. You've been so busy, so many things going on. And I'm trying to figure out like where to even start, but tell me something. I just wanted to know what's your favorite thing that you share about you?
It's the hardest thing to do, I find. Normally, I could share like a poem about why I am instead of who I am. That would be an easy way out in a way as well. But I love to share that I ride a yellow electric motorbike. So, that's people are always a bit surprised and they remember that. So I try to find things that are memorable. So I very much enjoy learn riding the bike, I guess 10 years ago, something like that. So it's a late learning experience, but I've enjoyed it very much. And so that would be one thing to share. Um, Another thing to share would be that that I've written 204 haikus about a pigeon. So I've written a whole story about the pigeon of the main square of Brussels. So it's a bit silly, I guess, but it's also poetic. So the pigeon is called Ernesto, and
Ernesto. Oh,
Ernesto, and he would love to travel and to fly away, and he has some experiences through his life, and he's friends with homeless people and a dog.
oh, oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, so that's and then I could say that I play volleyball. So I'm in a team, mixed team, and we play competition at a leisure level. And I've started learning also like well maybe 6 years ago, something like that. And so I'm someone who likes to learn through experience, who will give um, herself challenges like riding the bike or deciding to run the 20-kilometer run of Brussels, and this type of thing. So yeah, and yeah, basically to have fun doing that.
Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. I love volleyball. That's so fun.
It
Yeah, good
is, yeah.
time. And you play indoors? Is it indoors?
Yeah, we play mostly indoors, just also because of the weather conditions here. But we are starting to have a little bit more beach and outdoor volleyball, but it's still very limited. So I see Marcelino is here. Cool.
Marcelino, very cool. Let's see. I'll just say hello. See how that shows.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
Yes.
very nice. Very nice. He says, what is
And
today's
Olivier is here as well.
topic? It's all
Aha.
about Dorothy and some wonderful projects that you're working on currently and have been going on for some time. A little bit about what you do, though.
Mm.
You've been you're an author, a poet. You've spoke TEDx talks, and you have done so much around poetry, music, and the effects that that makes on other people corporately in corporations. And I wanted you to talk about that because I think in the business world, we don't think about poetry, right? We don't
Mm-hmm.
think about how that affects us or how it can be beneficial. And so, talk to us about that.
Okay, big topic. Maybe I should start by saying that, I started writing poetry when I was 7 years old. So poetry has always been a part of my life and something I've always shared as well. Some people write but don't share. So this is part of my, makeup or format, if you like. And I've worked in corporations. So I am a trainer, facilitator, a coach. So I accompany change in teams, in organizations, and so on. So productivity trainer, time management and leadership and all these things. So I realized that we have put aside our connection to creativity, to playfulness as well. So to sort of associate different elements together and create something with that. And also for me, poetry as or that sort of playful, sacred wisdom kind of thing is something that is a guiding voice for me. So I believe that we maybe focus too much on navigating in this world using models and rational thinking. And it's important to do. So I'm not saying it's not important to do, not at all, but that the statistics are driving our decisions, that figures are driving and results are driving our decisions. And I think that's not complete. So the intuition is a very good navigation tool. Music is a great navigation tool. Um, the body is a great navigation tool. Emotions, poetry. So that's what I want to bring into the world, is to give everyone to give everyone permission is a bit conceited, I think, but to give opportunities to everyone to sort of connect with their own genius and to play with that and to express that and not just be in jail, in corporate jail or something like that. In sort of you have to be serious, you have to be working with numbers, and I'm bad with numbers, I'm bad with statistics, and I'm happy when someone in my team is very keen with that, or has this great grasp of the metrics or of the rational models, the cognitive elements of it. And I'm very happy when someone is more in tune with the relational aspects and the emotions, and they can enter a room and see that some people are in a good, feeling good or feeling bad. I think we need all of that, and that's what I'm hoping to bring, amongst other things, with poetry in corporations. So
Wow. Wow. What kind of what kind of results do you feel like you get from a takeaway on that kind of approach? Does it change the way people deal with their own teams from a management perspective to kind of break that kind of thought pattern and get that creativity back? How do you help that flow happen too? I've got so many questions.
okay, one at a time. um, the what I notice is that it's kind of, I'm opening a space, and in that space, things are possible. So I call that the place of possible, or the possible place. It's not determined yet, but and I think that space continues to work after I've been there. So people feel like they can sort of start experimenting with things. And um, I was very lucky to accompany a team for many years, a change team of 20 people, mixed departments and so on. And through the COVID, we had to do some work through Zoom. And so I have, you don't see it, but I have a ukulele here, right? So, for instance, I would take out my ukulele, do some stuff during those sessions that we had, and little by little, they started doing their own stuff and become, and show that they were very creative, which we didn't know at first. So I noticed that there's um, people tend to write more afterwards, or to reconnect with writing, so to also to use language in a different way. To It helps with dealing with a sense of polarity, because poetry helps us, sort of bring together opposites. Um, so yeah, the basic results I get if I do a poetry summary of an event, for
Mm.
instance, is that people connect with something deeper in themselves, and you can sense there is a something happening. So there is the information finds a deeper place in everyone, in the collective as well.
Wow.
And I guess that's the minimum result I get. And then it sort of plays, and people who are connecting with writing, or with words, or with imagery, with music, they tend to continue, or to reconnect, um, to re-allow themselves to do that, because we have cut a lot of our fingers in order to fit.
Mm. Wow, that's something that we have to think about, and how hard it is to be just able to feel free in a corporate setting. So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
tremendous. Oliver says the space of
I
possibility.
love it.
Very good. Yeah, that sounds fitting, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is about conversation as well. Huh? Yeah, and
And bringing. Mhm.
the in my coaching, a lot of the coaching I do is to reconcile the structure with the organic, or it has to be organized and structured and logical and productive, with but I have this flow, or I have this creativity, or this spontaneity, and for some reason, or this intuition, for some reason, I think I have to split them up, but I don't. And it's about reconciling those two parts in ourselves. So yeah, poetry helps to do that as well.
With poetry, does that bring an calm most of the time, or does it? How does it affect the emotions?
Ooh, um, it can go in all directions, basically. Um, for me, it brings a sense of calm, and of being grounded, and also of understanding who I am, or how do I contribute to the world. So it's also kind of helping me find my way. Um, but also, poetry has helped me heal through very strong situation. And when you do slam poetry, for instance, which is a type of poetry where you go on stage and you have 3 minutes to say a poem, your own poem, no accessories, no music, it's just you, your voice, your texts. Um, that's a space where a lot of people will also express very hard things, very hard emotions, and that creates resonance with the audience. So poetry can be harsh, it can be dark, it can be beautiful, it can be romantic, it can be wise, it can be disturbing, it can be all that. It's depending on who you are, and what you are expressing, or you know
Why do you think you were so impacted or started writing so young at, you said age 7, right?
yeah, yeah. It's kind of, I guess it was in me, and also listening to some I think I was probably listening to some singers, the songs for children or something like that, and they had this very easy rhyme, or very something very very strong, I guess, in that sense. And so I guess I wanted to imitate that, or to explore what it was like to be doing that, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the response I got from my father, and and then from my friends, and yeah, it was encouraged. I was always encouraged in doing poetry. So
When did you start playing the ukulele?
um, I guess I started maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, with I had wanted to learn the guitar, did a little bit of guitar, and I was picking up things that I liked to do when I was a teenager, because I felt maybe if I want to do music, maybe I go back to what I thought I wanted to do then. And so I did a bit of guitar, but that's very hard, I felt. And then I came across these announcements about learning the ukulele, and I thought, well, ukulele is 4 strings, it's a smaller instrument, maybe I'll get somewhere with it. And in any case, it sounded interesting, it sounded fun, and so that's how I followed a first workshop. Well, it was a series of classes, and yeah. And I'm still, I'm just playing with it. I'm just goofing around with it. I only have one song that I know more or less by heart, and you know, that type of things.
Oh gosh. How fun. How fun. Oh, Jason, I took creative writing and Professor encouraged us to cultivate this strange.
Cultivate
How
the
fun.
strange. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love this expression. Yeah, cultivate the
Mhm.
strange. What makes you curious? What is sort of intriguing? Yeah, what you feel like, oh, okay, there's something that's calling me there. I don't know what it is, but I'm aspiring to that, or I'm intrigued by that. So yeah, and looking for or listening to stories of people is beautiful as well too. If you are in a group of people and you listen to the energy in the room and what's happening with that, and and the words they use people, people I use we use different strange words sometimes, or interesting metaphors, and yeah, cultivate the strange. Really nice. Thank you.
Yeah. What do you think what inspires you the most to write?
um what helps me understand what humans are, I guess. So there's a Belgian poet and playwright. He says writing is like discovering the bonds, even the matrimonial bond between man and life or nature. So that's what I'm interested in, is the yeah what makes us human, I guess.
That's beautiful. I think that kind of talks about something I'm going to ask you about, which is um, a poem you wrote that has a lot of meaning and
Yeah.
is more than just a poem now. It's called For Love. Um, so, just from the beginning, will you talk about that?
Mm. So I wrote a poem the day after terrorist attacked Brussels. So we had two bomb attacks, and a friend of mine was killed in one of those attacks. And on that day, we didn't know. We knew he was missing, but we didn't know what had happened to him. And we knew he was in the subway station, and probably in the metro train that was bombed. So, but we didn't know where he was or what happened. It was chaos. And so for that day, I was dealing with all kinds of conflicting emotions. It was hectic. And I was also kind of both glued to communication with his wife, who is also a friend, and with a group of people. We'd met him like for the weekend just before, so we were still very much connected to each other. So there was a lot of communication, hope, despair, watching what was happening, trying to understand, all these things happening, and with this feeling of powerlessness and this feeling of being also glued the screen or glued to the phone, and wanting to have more information. And so the next day, around midday, I had to write. I had to sort of get it out because this was not working out for me. And I also, there were some things like the message of the poem was something I wanted to express. I had been wanting to express for a very long time as well. So there was all kinds of things happening before, for many years before, sort of, so feeding that poem, I guess. And so on the morning itself, so I started writing, and it's just, as soon as I had that first line, I shall stand for love, all the rest sort of floats into a poem. And then I shared it with the people around me, and they were touched by it, and I felt healing. So I felt like a completely different situation from before to after writing the poem, like something had cleared, and it even healed stuff that had nothing to do with that, but related to my father's death so many years before. So I was that, and then people in my group were also really very much connected and touched, and so they asked me to share it on social media, which I did. And then some other friends picked it up. One of them started translating it in Italian because she said she had to experience that poem closer, more intimately, and so in her mother tongue. And I normally translate poems, so I wrote it in English, and then I translate it in French, and sometimes I will do it in Dutch. But so my poems are often in different languages. And so her offering to do it or doing it in Italian spontaneously, and then asking sort of the community to with my permission to gather as many translations as we could. And so the translation started pouring in. So I think in 2 days' time we had 7 or 9. That was on the Tuesday. I wrote the poem on Wednesday, and in the night of Thursday to Friday, I received a Chinese version and a Vietnamese version and a Sri Lankese version, all through the night, so I couldn't sleep, but and I had tears of joy then, because then I was connecting with the community. And in the morning I had a song from an Irish man in Japan who was part of this community, and that's how it sort of evolved from there. And writing the poem was healing, sharing the poem was healing, receiving those translations, those versions, the responses, and knowing that because people could translate it, or because people could share it or could read it, it sort of helped them feel that they could contribute and they could partake in what was happening.
And how many translations are you at now?
Now we have 74 language versions. And in some cases we have different versions of the same language. So we have, I think, 4 Spanish versions, because we have one from Mexico, one from Costa Rica, 2 from Mexico, one from Costa Rica, Argentina, I think. Yeah. And yeah. So
that's incredible.
We have languages that are hardly spoken. So where you have 60 fluent speakers of the language, and then you have something like simplified Chinese, or Russian, or yeah.
My goodness, that's incredible. I can't imagine that you could have even thought of the impact that's been felt.
Yeah, that's completely unexpected in some ways. It's and still today, because today even people will say, well, I saw your poem here, or I read it, or I shared it with people, because it's so important for me still today. And it's completely strange that the poem will travel so far to so many people, and you don't even know. because I know it's being read somewhere in the world at some point, and in some language, and I don't even know, and that's great. And it's sort of reaching, hearts everywhere in the world.
It feels like it's kind of become a movement.
Yeah, I think it's a quiet movement, but it's there and it's alive, and it's yeah. We recently we recorded the poem as you participated to that as well, and it was really a wonderful experience to have. And so we have many videos, which was not possible before to do, and today it is possible. We read the poem every day, so we have started mid or early March, I guess, or early April, early March, I don't remember, February, long time ago now it seems, I guess.
Yeah.
And every day at 1 p.m. Brussels time, we come together and we read the poem in different languages. So we read it at the same time. I will mix Dutch and French and English, and someone will read it in German, someone will read it in English, someone in Dutch, or so.
Hmm. So, can I ask you a favor? Will
Mm-hmm.
you will you read it in Dutch and then in English for us?
Yeah, yeah. I can try by heart. Let me see. Do I have my little sheet? I can try by heart in Dutch. It's maybe a bit. Well, you know what? I'll just pull it up here very quickly, because I almost know it by heart, but I tend to mix up things. So I will start. Shall I start it in Dutch or in English?
How about Dutch first?
Okay,
Yeah.
Dutch. Ik kies voor liefde. Ik kies voor liefde, zelfs met een bedroefde ziel, zelfs met een bedrukt hart. Ik kies voor liefde, omdat de wereld gewond is, niet enkel mijn klein stukje land, waar het meestal veilig is, waar ik me meestal goed voel. Maar onze wereld, overal, elke dag. Ik kies voor liefde, omdat we meer licht nodig hebben. Niet meer doden, niet meer macht, niet meer bommen. Ik kies voor liefde, opdat onze kinderen veilig zouden zijn, onze vrienden beschermd, onze grenzen open. Ik kies voor liefde, zelfs met een bedroefde ziel, zelfs met een bezwaard hart. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I shall stand for love, for the world is wounded, not just my little piece of land where I'm mostly safe, where I'm mostly well, but our world, everywhere, every day. I shall stand for love because we need more light, not more death, not more power, not more bombs. I shall stand for love so that all children may be safe, so that our friends may be sheltered, so that our borders are open. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart.
There's not a time.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a poem that came through me, and it delivers a message that many people have delivered. So it's not new, right? It's just that it reminds us from time to time, and we need to be reminded because we forget.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And you, my friend, are beautiful. This needs to completely continue to impact the world. And it's timing just continually, you know. So, oh, whew.
Maybe I can say here that there will be a small surprise at some point. Is we are preparing a hymn of the poem with a really beautiful music, easy to sing. Because I have different versions of the poem in music, and they are
Oh,
beautiful versions. But this one is something that's we can share it all together. So I'm hoping that we will be able to sing it in groups, and keep hearing it in communities, and because the music has a powerful effect as well.
absolutely. I'll be looking forward to that,
Mm.
Dorothy. Fantastic. What's your message for everyone to continue on and keep things in mind in the right perspective?
Mm. Well, I one thing I do is to, when I'm in a more difficult situation, or I'm wondering what to do next, or how to position myself, I ask myself, well, if I stand for love, what is my answer? So that's a nice way to act from forgiveness, from acceptance, from love, or from a trust in life. Um, and then my other message would be to just play with the stuff that you enjoy doing. So if you are, whether it's music, or it's sports, or it's engineering, or it's learning, pick up that thing that you truly want to do, and play with that. Have fun with that. Yeah.
Good words. Good words. What a great message. I can't thank you enough for your time today. This is just wonderful. I hope to get to do this again with you. Might have to get a picture of crepes. We'll enjoy being hungry together
Yes.
again. Um, just thank you so much, Dorothy, and we'll add some ways to get hold of you and connect with you and share the poem as
Yeah.
well.
I
So
hope you will share your version of the poem, because it was very, very beautiful. That's that was quite amazing, was to invite many people, different languages, different voices, to say the poem, and in the same session, and then to listen to the other languages, and to see how everyone, even if it was in the same language, every version was beautiful, and was different and unique. So yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so good, awesome,
uh,
man.
yeah.
This is what, yeah, I'm starting my day, and you're coming to the end of your day, and it's wonderful. I feel so fulfilled in my heart, and um, truly blessed to get to see you and hear your words. And I appreciate you so much. We'll do this again.
Yes, with pleasure. Thank you, Lina. I've enjoyed being here and sharing a little bit of my life, of my story with you.
We'll talk to you soon. We're gonna tell everybody goodbye, and I
Yeah.
just can't wait. All right.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. See you soon.